That's not how it works.
My opening statement is, that's a good old fashioned ass whooping. It's my opening statement. Questions?
Yeah, so what do you think happened today? Like, the team ready, or was it just like just basketball?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things. I mean, it's a 5-point game at halftime. And they come out and jump on us pretty good, but that's probably the worst game I've been my year and a half, 2 years here. That was our worst outing of 20 minutes that I've ever seen, but I give them a lot of credit. I thought defensively they had a good game plan, just crowding the paint, insulting our shooters, and we missed some, and then we got gun shy and started to just drive it into what was already packed paint. So we'll go back, we'll look at it. But it was obviously a disappointing, definitely second half. So we'll have to go back and take a peek and see ways we can get better, but I don't mind getting our head whooped every now and then. It's a good reminder that we're still human and you got to go out. You got to prove it every moment you're out there. So Lord knows we're going to see them plenty this year. So is there any stats or anything?
Becky, real quick, what was your thoughts on Lane and how she played?
Elena? I thought she did great for when she was in there. She's our third leading rebounder in 7 minutes. So that should tell you something.
Well, speaking of rebound, second chance points in particular, I mean, the Liberty completely dominated that stat. What are some things that you'd like to see your teams return to, given how this game played out?
Rebounding, box out, do your job. To be, they were up 14 on us at halftime rebounding wise, and they basically doubled it again. And that is completely on us, completely. If we were plumbers, there'd be a lot of people getting fired for not doing their job. Luckily, we're basketball players and we get to play again in a couple days and hopefully fix it.
So much conversation about super teams, also the Comets record with this Aces team. You said you don't really mind an ass whooping every once in a while. Would you rather get this out of the way? How do you think this affects the team, if at all?
If anything, it should get us more focused for the next one and down the road. We didn't have it today. We didn't, even the open shots that we did have, we missed. I saw a lot of frustration with us. A lot of looking at each other. So they got us out of who we were. And so I give them a lot of credit. And for us, it's one of those games when you just come out and get smacked. There's some of it, you just got to let it go. But there's another part of us that as a coach, I can't let it go. There's some things we have to address. There's some things we have to fix. And we'll do that.
Michael Vocal.
Thanks. Coach Hammon, with the 17 threes they made, do you feel like defensively there were things you guys could have done differently, or was this kind of a game where they were just really hot from the outside?
Well, I thought we'd let them get hot. We come in at halftime and, do we want to do a special defense? It's like, no, I want to see if our first scheme works. We hadn't done it the whole first half. And, we just let them get hot. Sabrina had 23 at halftime. She's somebody that, you basically should be picking up at half court, and it's easy to shoot when you're up 20.
Andy?
Becky, you mentioned, 5-point game at halftime and then that 30-9 third quarter. I guess what happened in that third quarter and what is something that you really want to change from that?
They jumped on us the first 3 or 4 possessions. It's never good when I have to call a timeout, 2 minutes in. So the things that we talked about leading up to this game, and the things that we talked about at halftime, we just didn't do. So when you're going to sit there and follow that team around, and they never really feel you defensively, they're very, very good offensively. So when you don't do your job and becomes a trickle down effect, then, they can ring up 100 points on you. So there's a lot of things we did wrong. There's a lot of things that we can address. But it's a collective thing. It wasn't any one person. For us, I didn't think offensively or defensively. It was us as a group, us as a whole that did not, we just didn't do our job.
Thank you.
Cassandra, close this out. Cassandra?
Oh, yes. Hey, Coach. Asia mentioned that she has a 24-hour waiting period due to league protocol. We noticed during the broadcast you had mouthed, it looked like you mouthed concussion protocol. Can you walk us through what that is from actually when something occurs to the game to when the player is allowed to actually play again in the next game, from what your understanding is?
Hold on, I think our PR
Cassandra,
person,
that's not what Asia said. She has a can you hear me, Cassandra?
I can.
She has the 24-hour rule for putting a game behind her. She's not gonna carry the game.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so then I'll rephrase the question then. What is your understanding? Because Asia got back in the game very quickly, understanding she had to shoot the free throws in order to be available for the remainder of the game. But what's the concussion protocol for a player when they have head contact during the game?
well, first of all, that's not correct. So when it's concussion protocol, they don't have to shoot the free throws to come back. We checked her out. She's clear. She's good to go. That's why she came back in the game. We're never going to put any player, let alone the MVP of the league, at risk for anyone getting back in the game. That's just, it would be silly. She was checked out. She was good to go. That's why she continued to play. But I think if it's not concussion protocol, what you said is correct. But during concussion protocol, they do have to hear from our medical staff that they're checking them out. At any rate, she's good to go.
Good to go. Okay, thank you.
That's one of the.
Just wanted to ask you any positive stuff to build off from this game. I know it's tough, but you know, even throughout the game, they came down, they could lead, you guys come down to Antwerp, or anything positive to build off and then move forward.
There's always positive stuff to, well, I wouldn't say positive stuff. There's stuff to learn from, which will be a positive, but we didn't do a lot of good things today. We just didn't. We didn't come to play. We didn't show up. I don't know if we thought we were just going to show up and beat a team like this, but like I said, we're going to see them a few more times. They had a good run on us, a couple good ones. So we will regroup. We got another tough one in Dallas here, but we're going to be seeing these teams frequently. So you can't dwell on the negative too long. That'll be my job, but I want them always, when they come out of the locker room, to feel confident and rested and ready to go. And we were not at least ready to go. That part was not there.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it.